Sonic's Green Hills Adventures Season 1 Chapter 30, A Christmas Finale. Longclaw's point of view.
It was Christmas Eve and this made me miss Sonic so much. I knew he's safe where he is, but exactly how is where I was completely stumped. That's it. I need to be with him. I can't bear being apart from Sonic anymore, I said as I grabbed my last portal ring. Well, there's no going back now, I said before I threw the ring and flew through it as I made sure no one would follow.
Sonic's point of view.
Me and Shadow were so excited for Christmases this year. We got to truly celebrate it and with the family we love so dearly.
Hey Sonic, why don't you decorate the tree with your super speed?
Donut Dad asked happily. Sure thing, Donut Dad, I said excitedly and dashed around the tree at supersonic speed as I decorated it. However, in the process of doing this, I got tangled in the lights I was about to put on it. Now I was literally bound by Christmas lights instead of rope. But you oops, I said as I was filled with embarrassment.
Tom's point of view.
Actually, the Shadow was in a laughing fit. I took a video of this moment and posted it on Facebook with the description, Sonic and Shadow's first Christmas in the family. Let's get you out of there, Sonic, I said as I put my phone away. Then, with Shadow's help, we got him free from the lights.
Thanks, Donut Dad and Shadow. That's one Christmas memory in the making, one that we'll never forget, huh?
Sonic asked sheepishly. It sure is son, I said as I high-fived him. I honestly couldn't wait till tomorrow. For we had exciting news that me and Manny couldn't wait to tell our boys, but it's too perfect and pretending to not do it tomorrow.
Later the next day, the sun was setting as the Blue Angels were setting up for the Christmas concert they were going to put on for all of Green Hills.
So are you guys excited about tonight?
Marina asked as they were doing a sound check.
Yes, we are.
Sonic replied happily.
You totally. This is the Christmas to remember for the rest of our lives.
Shadow added very enthusiastically.
That's true. So sound check is done. Now, do we remember what songs we're performing tonight?
Crystal asked remindingly.
Yep, all one for Christmas is you. Carl, the bells, do they know it's Christmas? And Jingle Bell Rock.
Sonic replied reassuringly.
Great, well let's go have dinner and meet back here in an hour.
Marina said as they all heard their stomachs growling.
Sound like a plan. I'll race you home, Shadow.
Sonic said as he and Shadow dashed off. 1 hour later, the Blue Angels were performing and their sound caught Longclaw's attention. Longclaw's point of view.
I wonder where that's coming from, but I'll have to stay out of sight. I better be careful, I said curiously to myself as I flew toward the sound of music. Oh, they sound amazing. Wait, is that Sonic playing with them? I whispered to myself as I looked closely at the guitarist as he played his guitar. I couldn't believe it. I was so close to reuniting with him. I was relieved to see that he was doing fine here in Happy Even. I decided to wait in the shades for now and follow him until I thought it was the perfect moment to reveal myself to him. Soon enough, the concert ended and I watched Sonic carefully. Then I saw a black and red hedgehog next to him. How I didn't notice him earlier, I had no idea.
Hey, Dad, did we rock the house or what?
I heard Sonic say as he and the other hedgehog walked up to 2 humans. Did he just say dead? I thought to myself as I continued to watch them with a smile on my face.
Yeah, you did Sonic and Shadow.
The man said as he gave Sonic and Shadow high fives, so Sonic made friends after all. Thank goodness. However, I wanted to know how this happened.
Well, Dad will meet you at the house, so Sonic you up for another race.
Shadow said as he looked at Sonic competitively.
But of course, Shadow.
Sonic replied as they got into their starting positions. I was worried about this. It's obvious that the town knows about Sonic, let alone this Shadow. But what about outside of that? So I was about to fly off to follow them carefully. However, the 2 humans caught my attention.
Man, those two are inseparable. I can't even imagine how they'll react to the big news tonight.
the woman said cheerfully as she hugged the man.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Come on, let's get to the car.
The man said as he guided the woman excitedly, "That's it, I found my opportunity," so I followed them from a distance to their house. Then I found the perfect hiding spot where I could listen in and wait for that moment to arrive.
Sonic's point of view.
We finally arrived back in our cave and sat on our race car beds. Hey, Shadow, did you notice the strange behavior of our parents just now? I asked Shadow curiously.
It's like they're hiding something exciting from us. However, I wouldn't be nervous about it. They'll tell us what it is eventually.
Shadow replied enthusiastically. Yeah, it makes sense. I said in agreement as we went to the living room to wait for our parents to arrive. 10 minutes later, Donut Dad and Pretzel Mom arrived.
Hey Buzz, there's something we were super excited to tell you, so think of it as your Christmas present.
Pretzel Mom said excitedly as she and Donut Dad sat down. Oh really? What is it, Pretzel Mom? I asked curiously.
Mom, we could tell you we're hiding something exciting.
Shadow added confidently.
Well, I'm pregnant.
Pretzel Mom replied dramatically. Both me and Shadow gasped in delight. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I screamed as I dashed around the room in pure joy. Pretzel Mom was right. This was the best Christmas gift ever. I mean, I'm gonna be a big brother.
Are you serious, Mom? That's amazing. I can't wait to meet the little one.
Shadow said happily as his tail wagged.
Neither can we.
No, Dad said lovingly. Just then I heard a knock on the door. I'll get it, I said and ran over to the door and answered it. I was taken aback when I saw who it was. Long Claw, I said out, overjoyed shock and seeing the wonderful old standing there.
Hello, Sonic, long time no see.
Longclaw said as tears of joy fell down her face. The same could be said about myself. Longclaw can't believe it's really you. I shouted in delight as I hugged her tightly.
Longclaw's point of view.
I had to agree with Sonic that was, until I hugged him back and knew I would never leave him nor lose him on such a scale ever again. It's so wonderful to see you again too, Sonic. I am here to stay this time, I promise, and my how you've grown. I said as we ended the hug and I got a better look at him.
Why, thank you, Longclaw. I know I'm one extremely handsome package, and I'm so happy you're staying. Oh, but where are my manners? Come in, Longclaw. I'd like you to meet the family that adopted me and my now big brother.
Sonic said as confidently as ever while leading me to the living room.
Sonic's point of view.
As I was doing this, I realized my dream from all those months ago came true and that made it all worth it. Hey guys, you'll never believe who's here, I said excitedly as I entered the living room.
Really, who's that?
Shadow asked curiously. Everyone, I'd like you to meet Longclaw, I said dramatically as Longclaw entered the room.
No way. This is amazing. It's such an honor to meet you. I'm Shadow Wachowska the Hedgehog and Sonic's adoptive older brother.
Shadow said in astonishment.
Well, really, although I didn't think there were any other people like Sonic here until now. It's very nice to meet you.
Longclaw said happily.
With their adoptive parents, Tom and Maddie Bohovsky.
Donut Dad said politely with a huge smile on his face. Then we all witnessed Longclaw shed tears of joy at this news.
I'm so proud of and happy for you, Sonic, but I still need to hear the whole story.
Longclaw said happily as she hugged me again. You're right, there's so much to tell you, I said excitedly when we heard a knock on the door again.
I'll get it this time.
Shadow said as he went to answer the door.
It's our friends. Come on in, guys. You'll never believe what just happened.
Shadow said as he came back with Marina, Crystal, Jessica, and Joy.
Marina's point of view.
When I saw a supernaturally sized doll standing next to Sonic, my jaw dropped and knew exactly who she was. No ways, that Longclaw. Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to meet you. Sonic told us so much about you. My name is Marina Melody, I said excitedly.
Really, he has. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Longclaw said in surprise.
You bet he did. I'm Crystal, by the way.
Crystal said enthusiastically as we begin to sit down.
Longclaw, you look so amazing in person. I'm Jessica Mills. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Jessica said in astonishment.
You Sonic words don't do justice. I'm Joy.
Joy said happily.
Well, it's nice to meet you all, and I'm so happy Sonic wasn't alone before my arrival.
Longclaw said in relief.
Longclaw's point of view.
Then Sonic scratched the back of his head nervously.
Well, that's not entirely true. For my first 10 years here, I stayed hidden, but that's where this long story began.
Sonic told me sheepishly. I was happy he followed my instructions to a T, but still, I didn't want him to be all alone for that long. Then Sonic proceeded to tell me about his encounter with Dr. Iva Robotnik.
So, Longclaw, you're not mad at me for exposing myself like that, are you?
Sonic asked me cautiously. No, because it led to all of this, I replied reassuringly. Then he told me about his adventures here in Green Hills. Well, that's fascinating, Sonic, I said excitedly.
Shadow, can you help me tell the next part of the story?
Sonic asked Shadow shakily, which made me both worried and nervous about this next part. It turned out I was right before he told me about these two girls causing Sonic to be taken to gun headquarters. I can't believe they did that to you, Sonic, I said in complete horror.
Neither can we, and they're my ex-friends. I didn't think they were capable of it.
Jessica said with tears in her ears.
But we kinda have to thank them. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have met you, Shadow. You would have been in Australia, and I would still have to hide from the government.
Sonic added enthusiastically.
That's very true.
Marina said in agreement. Then they explained the rest of the story. Well, that's all crazy and amazing, I said after taking it all in.
And that's not all. Longclaw, my dear friends, I'm going to be a big brother.
Sonic announced excitedly.
So Maddie is pregnant. Congratulations, cause I can't wait to meet you, baby sibling.
Marina replied hyperly.
Sonic's point of view.
That's when an amazing idea formed in my head. Hey, Pretzel, Mom, have you figured out who the godmother will be? I asked happily as I felt my tail wagging.
No, we haven't.
Pretzel, Mom replied curiously. Well, I think it should be Longclaw, I said enthusiastically.
That's a wonderful idea, Sonic. So, Longclaw, would you like to be the godmother?
Pretzel, Mom replied excitedly.
I would be very honored.
Longclaw said happily. Then Ozzy walked in excitedly. Ozzy, perfect timing. I'd like you to meet Longclaw, I said as I petted Ozzy.
Oh, why hello there, Ozzy, it's very nice to meet you.
Longclaw said happily as Ozzy wagged his tail happily. Did I mention we're in a band together called the Blow Angels? I asked playfully.
Well, actually, I did know, you see. I came to Earth yesterday and tonight I saw you perform. I was waiting for the right moment to reveal myself.
Longclaw told us sheepishly. This made me laugh joyfully. Longclaw, that's amazing. Speaking of which, I have a new song I've been dying to show and perform with you guys, but now I think it's the perfect time for it, I announced enthusiastically.
Really? That's awesome. Well then let's head to my house and do that.
Marina said excitedly as we followed her to Donut Dad's car. Longclaw said she would follow us in here. So 25 minutes later, we arrived at Marina's house and went to her music room. Well, here's the sheet music, guys, I said as I gave them the sheet music.
Oh, its lyrics are beautiful.
Marina said as we got our instruments and mix ready. All right, let's do this. I'll call it We Are, I said right before we began. After we finished, Longclaw immediately hugged me.
Oh, Sonic, that was wonderful, and I'm so proud of you. I just wish I could make up for those 10 years we were apart.
Longclaw said happily. Oh, don't you see, Longclaw? You already have when you arrived in Green Hills, I told her reassuringly. Then a thought came to my head. Wait a minute, Donut Dell. What would be her living arrangements before at least tonight? I asked hastily.
Well, I'm afraid there's no place for her at our place since we don't have a guest room.
Donut Dad replied cautiously.
Oh, we have plenty of room here, Longclaw. Just let me ask my parents really quick.
Marina suggested as she went to find her parents. A few minutes later, Marina walked back in.
Well, Longclaw, they said yes.
Marina said dramatically.
Why, thank you, Marina. I truly appreciate it.
Longclaw said happily. Then I started to yawn.
Oh, well, it's getting late. Come on, Sonic and Shadow, it's time to get you two into bed.
Pretzel Mom said as she and Donut Dad picked me and Shadow up. All right, good night, Longclaw. I love you, I said tiredly as I hung onto Donut Dad's shoulders.
Good night, Sonic. I love you too. All of you.
Longclaw said sweetly in return. Then we went home. Despite how tired I was, I couldn't wait to start this beautiful fresh start in the